Well, good morning. We are coming to you today from Great Smoky Mountains National Park. This is the northern entrance coming in from Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and we're just glad to be back home in the Smokies. We've been on a tour of the American West, took in 3 of our national parks. We are back in our home national park, that's what we call it. This is by far the most visited national park in the country. Great Smoky Mountains ranks #1 above all the others. Now, the ones we visited last time were beautiful. We are glad we got to see them, but honestly, we were both talking. We felt like we kind of had been cheating on the Smokies a little bit, and we needed to come back, so we're back.
Glad to be back.
Yeah, so what we're going to do today is we're going to just do a drive-through of the national park. We're going to stop at the more well-known overlooks. We're going to point out some features from those and tell you what you're looking at. And hopefully you'll find this video enjoyable, but this is just going to be kind of just riding through the national park and just seeing what it has to offer, so go with us. Okay, so we are just now entering Great Smoky Mountains National Park, coming in from Gatlinburg. So what we're going to do is we're going to take Highway 441, that's Newfound Gap Road, across the mountain, across Newfound Gap, and down into Cherokee, where we will exit the park at the southern entrance. So we're just going to point things out along the way. We did this a couple of years ago. It's time for a new video. We have better equipment now, and hopefully we're better at making videos. I don't know if we are or not, but so. We're just going to try to point out some things along the way. If you just want to drive through the mountains, maybe you're not really into long hikes or anything strenuous, but you want to see the scenery of the Smokies, we're going to show you where you can do that. So the first thing you will come to after you enter the national park from Gatlinburg is the Gatlinburg bypass that you could take over to Pigeon Forge. That would be to the left right here. We're going to stay to the right, and the first thing we will come to after that is the Sugarlands Visitor Center. A very popular place. I do want you to be aware that the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, as of March of 2023, has instituted a parking pass fee. You can get it daily, which is $5. You can get it weekly, or you can get it yearly. It is vehicle specific. You can't transfer it from one vehicle to another. So that's the reason we don't get the yearly one, because we have 3 different vehicles we drive up here, so that would not do us any good to do that. So we're not going to get a pass today because we're not going to stay parked anywhere for 15 minutes. That is the other requirement. As long as you are in and out of your space in 15 minutes or under, you do not need the pass. Anything longer than that, you do. Also, if you have a handicap placard, you do not need the pass. It has to be a state issued placard. So coming up here is the Sugarlands Visitor Center. Now, in order to go to Cades Cove, which we're not doing today, we have separate videos on Cades Cove. We'll be making another one within the next 6 weeks or so. You turn right here at the Visitor Center and you travel 24 miles straight on Little River Road until you come into the cove. But today we are going across the mountain on Highway 441. So here is the Sugarlands Visitor Center.
There's a lot of good information in the visitor center there about the park, about the trails. They also have souvenirs, t-shirts.
Tell you what, I'm going to drive through the parking lot. Keep talking. I'm going to drive through the parking lot and just let them see it.
Okay, it's really nice to go into. You can learn a lot, and like I said, you can buy souvenirs and t-shirts, right. Books.
The one thing I do think is a little ridiculous, and I don't make the policy, but I am relating it to you, is that even to go to the visitor center for more than 15 minutes, you have to have a parking pass. You can purchase those here. You can also purchase them, I believe, can you purchase them in Newfound Gap?
Newfound Gap does have
Cades Cove, and maybe Clingman's Dome. I'm not sure about Clingman's Dome.
I don't remember for sure, but that is something you can also find on the website. And we have purchased the ones from the little, I don't know if you call them satellite boxes or whatever. You just, put your card information in, your date, and it prints that little tag for you.
So there's the Sugarlands Visitor Center. You saw it a minute ago. You're probably not seeing it now, but you're seeing the cars. There are restrooms here. The Visitor Center has a museum, has books, hiker pins, about anything you'd want. They have a little movie
that you can watch too about the park.
Yeah, they have. I think they still do that. I haven't watched it.
It's been a while. We used to do it a lot when the boys were little.
But I just made a circle through there. I'm going to come back out to get on Newfound Gap Road. We're actually on Little River Road. Looking at that now, you would turn right to go to Elkmont, Townsend, or Cades Cove. There are your distances, and we're going back to Highway 441. That was just a little detour. So we're back at Highway 441 now, and we could have just stayed on it, but I did want to show you the visitor center parking lot. But you do have to even get a parking pass to park there unless you're in and out in 15 minutes. I would kind of think the information centers where they sell things, you might slide on that one.
Yeah, as long as you're there, not parking to take a trail or something, as long as you're utilizing the store.
Yeah, but the exemptions are, again, if you have a state-issued handicap placard. There are a couple of days during the year where they don't make you do it. I don't really remember what those are, but there are a couple of days throughout the year where you are exempt. Newfound Gap is 13 miles. Now, what is something park visitors should know about Newfound Gap and Clingman's Dome area as opposed to right here?
Well, the elevation, the temperature difference.
Yes, one thing you have to understand is right now you're at an elevation of about 1,450 feet. Newfound Gap is an elevation of over 5,000 feet. That means you can expect it to be anywhere from 12 to 15, sometimes even more degrees colder up there. Also, Clingman's Dome, that's another 1,600 feet above Newfound Gap, so you can expect another 8 degree drop or so up there. What I'm saying is, even in the summer, it can be quite chilly on the mountaintops.
Yes, it can.
Especially in the evenings and early mornings. You need to always expect the temperature to be much, much cooler than down in the valley. And we are beginning to already climb in altitude up the mountain. This is one of the most beautiful drives in the fall, because even if the leaves are just starting their turn in Gatlinburg, you can drive up here, and once you start getting into the elevation difference, a lot of times you'll run into where the leaves are peaking in color.
Yes.
And then by the time you get up to Newfound Gap, they're past the peak a lot of times. I'm talking like third and fourth weekends in October. If you want to come for the leaves, don't stay in the lower elevations. Come up into the national park.
And this part through here, it has so many golden yellow leaves, and it's like when you come like this time of day when the sun's shining through it, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, it makes it look like it's on fire sometimes. We will not be pulling off at every overlook because that would take all day, but we are going to pull off at the main ones and give you a sample of what the view is. The first one we're going to be pulling off at is coming up. There are actually two side by side. The most famous one is Carlos Campbell Overlook. I just read this morning that it had been closed for maintenance work, so I think I'm going to pull in the one right before it, but just be aware there are two side by side overlooks where you get this same identical view, and we're going to show you that right now. Okay, the first view from this overlook and from the Carlos Campbell Overlook as well is the Sugarlands Valley, and right here is one of the lower flanks of Mount LeConte. There are 7 different distinct forest types in this view right here, starting in the lower elevations and going into the spruce firs up at the top of Mount LeConte. Now that is not the summit of Mount LeConte. That is actually one of the lower elevation flanks. The rest of the mountain is behind that, so you can't really see it. Okay, I'm questioning whether we were supposed to have pulled off that overlook. I think we weren't. There were the orange cones there, and they had an opening. We thought there would be an exit. There was no exit. We had to back out. The Carlos Campbell Overlook is not closed. So that was kind of a weird little thing there. I think somebody moved those cones in order to get in, and then did not create an exit. We had to back out into the road. And like I said, there is the view of the flank of Mount LeConte, one of the most impressive mountains in the entire Smokies, one of the most rewarding hikes. This is exactly what I was talking about, the 7 forests back at the overlook. You got 7 in one view. You've got the mixed oak and the cove hardwoods, then you get up into the pine oak. And then I want you to notice as you go up Mount LeConte just how it changes. You get into the cove hardwood, then the hemlock, the northern hardwood, heath balls, and then the red spruce grazer fir, which is found at about 4,500 feet and up in the Great Smokies. And another little tidbit, the Great Smoky Mountains are the salamander capital of the world. All right, coming up, I want you to notice this very important sign on the right. It says slow vehicles use pullouts to permit passing.
And right there's one too.
And right there is one, and they are everywhere. One of the plagues that continues to be in this park is people who will not observe that. They stop in the road, especially in Cades Cove. They don't stop so much here, but in Cades Cove, it's an epidemic there. Don't do that. It's posted to not do that. So please, if you want to drive slowly or if you want to see something, pull off and see it and spend all the time there you want to.
Yeah, enjoy it,
Yeah.
but make sure other people are able to as well.
A good rule of thumb is this: if it's clear in front of you and it looks like a funeral procession behind you, you're probably the one that needs to pull off. That's just a good rule of thumb.
And you're seeing them. There's some on the left there. We've passed several on the right.
Yeah, and it doesn't take just a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
You don't want to be rushed by somebody who's moving faster than you. That impedes your experience. And
because I know times that we've done hikes early in the morning and we leave early, need to get somewhere early so we can start our hike, and when we're going through the park someone's going slow, it's like,
yeah, it
would have been nice if they would have used those pull-offs to where we could have gotten where we needed to go, because sometimes people aren't just sightseeing.
And there's times we use them. If we're doing a video like this, if someone's behind us, we'll use them if there's something we want to pull.
Absolutely.
So I'm not preaching anything we don't do.
Right.
I normally don't really drive that slow, but there are times when we are wanting to see something for a video that we will do that, and we will be courteous and use the pull-offs.
Yeah.
Okay, the next thing we want to show you, we're going to drive through it, is the Chimneys picnic area. Now, we have been up here many times. We've taken picnics up here. We've stopped here just to do our Bible reading or just relax because there's a nice river that flows through here. So we're going to pull off and go through here. They close at 8 o'clock p.m. This is also a beautiful place in the fall. If you have a nice day in the fall, go to Mama's Chicken Kitchen or somewhere like that and get you a picnic, lunch, and come up here. Get out of town for a little bit.
Yeah, it's very nice.
And if you can get here early enough, you might get a sight on the river, which is what we recommend. But we want to drive through here and show you this. I'm sorry for the angle of the sun right now. But I do think you need a parking pass for the picnic areas.
Yeah, I think so. And they do have several restroom facilities in here as well.
So you might be asking, where's the river? Well, we're going to show you that. This is the entrance side, but on the exit side where we descend back down is where you're going to find the river spots.
And it's pretty good size in here because there's actually even a central road that goes through here with picnic tables, and then we always
there's a road that cuts right down the middle too.
Yeah, we always prefer the river sites.
But you can see there's a good number of sites, and they're all nice.
Mm-hmm. And very close to the river, even if you can't see it, if you get ones on the right.
All right, so now we're going to begin. We're going to U-turn right here. The river's coming into view, and we're going to pull off since it's not crowded at all. We're going to show you that, but I want to show you where the road forks right here. What she was talking about, the central road.
Yeah, there's the
Stay
central.
straight for the central road, and to get the river sites, you bear to the right here.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to do is we're just going to stop at this spot right here. Looks like as good a one as any, and show you the river. Okay, so we're standing in one of the picnic spots right here, and there's just not a greater sound on earth than a rushing mountain stream. And this is one of the first river sites. There are several more on down, but we just want to show you what it's like. As you can see, the river spots are the ones that people try to grab first, so can't blame anybody for that, but just maybe try to get here early or even later in the afternoon, maybe when some folks are packing up. So I'm going to walk down here to a different section, and then we'll be on our way. Just absolutely beautiful. Great place to get the family up here and let the kids wade in the river and just have a great day out in nature, away from cell phones, away from video games, computers. Just spend time with family. Great place to do it. Here's looking back across at some of the campsites, picnic sites. You can't camp here, disregard that. But some of the picnic sites that are not on the river. And you notice most of those are vacant, and again, where you see the cars are the river sites. Alright, so we're riding down through the Chimneys picnic area now, and we're going to make our exit and get back onto Highway 441.
Brings back memories when we'd come when the boys were younger, have a picnic, they'd play on the creeks and stuff. And one time we came in the fall, and I don't remember which rock it was, but there was some pretty trees in the center.
I can show you which rock it is.
And Tyler, were you in, or was it just Tyler and Dylan?
You were in one of them too.
Maybe so, but yeah, I remember that was like a nice fall picture.
That's been a long time ago.
Yes.
Okay, so take a right, head towards Cherokee. Now be aware that right after you leave the picnic area, there's going to be a pretty intense switchback right here, which we're fixing to get into right now. And it's not, I won't say it's common, but we have several times seen bear crossing right here. They get up in the wooded area between the two sections of road.
Yeah.
So we're entering the switchback now. Actually, we're not. It's
coming up
next. The next
I see a car going above us.
My mistake. Yeah. But we have actually seen bear several times, actually. Mm-hmm. Just in the little wooded area between the switchbacks. So always be mindful of that. Yeah, here it is. 20-mile-per-hour switchback here. Alright, there it is. Now this overlook we are approaching features a view. Actually, there's two right here again side by side. I'm going to pull up to the next one, tell you what it's showing, and Shaughnessy's going to tell you a little bit about it. This is one of the most easily distinguished and easily recognized peaks in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park.
And these are the Chimneys. Elevation 4,755 feet. We have actually hiked them several times. These are also, as you can see, they look a little bit more kind of charred and rocky on the top.
We'll give you a close-up with the camcorder here in a minute.
Yeah, this is where the 2016 fires began. So
the fires that devastated Gatlinburg.
Yes, so you can see still a lot of the damage up above, but you can also see a lot of growth coming back down the sides of the mountain.
Yeah.
But they are something to see, especially from the top.
I apologize that this is looking right into the sun. That's just the time of morning it is. But I hope you can see some of the black still on the rocks up towards the summit. There is a lot of recovery, a lot of growth coming back after 8 years. But for what, 4 or 5 years, it was still charred looking.
It was, and I said a minute ago, it's beautiful view from the top. Actually, when you hike, you can't go to the top
Not since the fires, you can't.
No, but they do have a viewing deck that you can see, because it is unstable up there and dangerous.
It used to be a 2-mile hike, but because you can no longer go up to the pinnacles, now people do disregard the signs and they go around the barrier. Don't do that.
Oh,
if you want to live, don't do that.
Yeah.
People do it. It's just not a good idea. The park is asking you not to do it. But since the fires, the ground has become unstable up there.
Yeah.
So now it's a 1.75 mile hike. You can't go as far, but you still have a good view. It's a beautiful hike in the fall. It's a strenuous hike. To be so short, you do want to be somebody who can do a hike. Short distance, but it's uphill pretty much all the way once you cross the rivers. Now, I'm going to pan over here to the right and just show you this ridge. In the fall, this ridge has a lot of nice looking red maples on it. It's very beautiful.
Oh yeah, when you're coming back through, looking at this ridge, it's amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of mixture of red and yellow in this area. And there actually is a third overlook. So there are actually 3 back-to-back little pull-off spots to observe the chimneys.
And I noticed they had a placard.
I'm sorry, make it 4. I did not know there was 4. There's that. Well, you won't see the chimneys from that one because of the trees. But
They actually had a placard back there at the third one.
oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
And that I did notice that they are doing some construction
There's another one.
along the highway here. Hopefully they're putting placards up because that looked kind of new.
Okay, good deal. If there's a park that needs new placards, it's this one. I will say that. And here's another one. I remember 2. I did not remember there being 6. So
That's a close view right there.
that really is a close view. I should have stopped at that. But that would be a good one to see it from. Okay, here is the Chimney Tops Trailhead. If you want to hike the chimneys, I would get here early. As you can see, the parking is full right now. And there is some parking on the side. The people used to park a lot further up the side. Looks like they have, yeah, they got it. That used to be like a ditch there.
Yeah.
So it kind of, maybe it looks like they've improved that just a little bit, but that's the end of the parking. Parking permit is required.
And if you just notice that sign on the right, we are going to be going through a circle loop right here.
Yeah, a 360-degree loop right here. So you want to take this slow. Once you get to the top of it, you can actually look back down on this road. But if you notice, we're just going to continue to make a 360-degree circle.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. Wish the camera was a little bit more pointed to the left for this, but you can kind of get the idea of what we're doing. All right, we just completed it. So right in here in the wintertime is where it can start getting especially treacherous. There's a lot of times Newfound Gap Road, or Newfound Gap itself, can have over a foot of snow on the ground. There'd be nothing in Gatlinburg. So in the wintertime, might as well put this in too for information. You don't have to go on Facebook to post if the National Park Road's open, because you will get yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, maybe. Why do you want to know? That's what you're going to get. Call 865-436-1200. That is the official National Park Road Condition Report. Follow the voice menu. I think you have to hit 1 after the operator picks up, or the recording picks up, and then you hit 1 again, and that takes you to the Weather and Road Conditions Report, and it will tell you what roads are closed and what roads are open. If it says 441 Newfound Gap Road is closed, then that means there's snow at the top. If it's open, then you can see it. So just that little bit of information in there as well. Because I see a lot of people, they don't know, and they don't know where to find out, so they get on Facebook and ask, and unfortunately this Facebook and even Gatlinburg groups are just not reliable sources of information at all. But the National Park official road report is. So that's what I would use. You can also find it on Twitter, although we have found Twitter to not always update as quickly. They may have just opened it 10 minutes ago and it may still be showing closed on Twitter, so you know, you can use either one of those. Alright, now we are coming up on the Alum Cave Trailhead. This is one of your more popular trailheads in the park. In fact, we just passed 2 little pull-off areas that were full, and that's just the overflow from Alum Cave.
Yeah, because these fences here along the side, people used to actually park along the side of the road.
They put a stop to that.
No longer can do that because it got to be where it was so dangerous.
There's the first section over to the left, and then there's this section. The reason this is popular is for 2 reasons, actually. Number 1, this is the shortest trail to the summit of Mount LeConte. It's 5 miles from here to the summit. But a lot of people don't go all the way through to LeConte. Some do. Some just go as far as the Alum Cave Bluffs, which is something to see in and of itself. That is a very beautiful trail in June when the rhododendrons are coming in. Once you start getting up towards the bluffs, very colorful. The azaleas are starting to come in, and the rhododendrons, and it's just really nice.
Very pretty.
So you do not have to go all the way to LeConte. You can take the 1.4 mile hike, I believe it is, to Arch Rock, or you can continue on 2.7 miles to the Alum Cave Bluffs, and then if you've got it in you, go on to Mount LeConte. But if you don't, you can go as far as the bluffs and come back. You decide how far you want to go. But it's a beautiful trail. Okay, this is just a little gravel area on the left up past Alum Cave. I'm going to park here just to show you the beautiful river. I don't think this has even got a name, the overlook, but I'm going to show you the river here.
Please do not be that person, and if you are that person, please stay home. And already, folks, just standing out of the car, I know it's shady here, but I am feeling a very, very nice drop in temperature. It was starting to really heat up in Gatlinburg. I'd say it's upper 60s right here. Just beautiful.
Now, right now we're transitioning from the hardwoods, which there are still some, into the spruce fir. You start seeing some of the evergreens mixing in now. Now, this is one of the shadier sections on Newfound Gap Road. And what I mean by that is you have to be very careful in the winter or after a snow, because the sun doesn't hit much here and the snow lasts here probably longer than anywhere else on Newfound Gap Road. A lot of times we pull off just to enjoy it because there's still so much of it left right here.
That's true, and so much of this rock wall will have so many icicles hanging off of it.
There's a similar spot going up Clingman's Dome Road, but unfortunately that's closed in the winter, so you have to walk to see it. But it's called the ice wall, where it just doesn't really melt there.
Yeah, and we follow pages that, you know, when people walk to it, they'll post it on there. It's beautiful.
But there are times you can drive through here and see it, so just be aware this is a very low sunlight, cold area, and they get pretty good snowfall up here anyway, and it sticks around in these shady spots. We've been up here many times in April and there'll still be some snow left.
That's true.
Where it's turned spring already down in the valley, so that's happened, and we've actually been up here in late October and there'll be some snow. So anytime from October to early April, it is a possibility. A little tidbit of information there. A lot of y'all say I'm informative. One of North Carolina's biggest snowfalls ever occurred at Newfound Gap in the month of April, and it was 60 inches, 5 feet of snow. That was before the blizzard of '93. I think that probably topped it. There are some good vantage points for sunrises and some for sunsets. So we're going to pull off up here at a sunset overlook. Okay, we are now coming up on the Ben Morton overlook. If you want to catch a sunset here, you better get here early.
A lot of people come here for it,
So we're going to step out and show you this.
Okay, we're now at an elevation of 4,837 feet. We're almost at the top. A few moments ago I showed you the trash on the ground, asked you not to be those people. Please don't be these people either. Don't be greasy who can't spell was. Don't be any of these people. This is a national park. It belongs to everybody. Please don't deface it. I don't want to be mean, I really don't, but it seems like a lot of businesses are even promoting their business by defacing. If you know who Everyday Flooring is, I would ask you to please take your business elsewhere. You do what you want to do, but folks, this stuff needs to stop. So looking back down is the road we just came up, Newfound Gap Road. Now again, this is probably the most popular sunset spot in Great Smoky Mountains National Park. If you look, protruding up behind that ridge is the chimney tops. We just showed you that a few moments ago. There's Twin Peaks right there. And while this is a very popular spot for sunsets, it's also very crowded. We prefer the next overlook up, so we're going to show you that as well.
All right, so this overlook is about a mile past the Morton overlook, and I want to show you this one because this is another great sunset spot, and I like the way it's framed between the trees. We're going to get out and show you with the camcorder.
I love the way it's framed between the trees, but you can also catch a beautiful sunset right here. In fact, some of you all enjoyed the sunset we did at the end of our Indian Creek campground video when we went camping a couple of months back. Right here's the spot. Same exact spot where we watched the sun go down that night, and we put it to music, and a lot of you indicated that you enjoyed that.
Alright, so back out on 441, we are almost at Newfound Gap Road. I'm sorry, at Newfound Gap. We're on Newfound Gap Road. Alright, so here's the Newfound Gap overlook. This does sit astride the North Carolina and Tennessee state line. So we're going to show you the state line, we're going to show you the Appalachian Trail Junction, and we're going to show you the view.
And here is the view from Newfound Gap. And that is Highway 441 going down towards Cherokee. We will be on that section shortly. But you're looking back into North Carolina now, out towards the Blue Ridge Parkway and the Huntooga Ridge area. Back towards Mile High Campground in that section. But look at all the people here. And if you want to know weather conditions in the park, there is a webcam. You can't see it, but it's up there. It sits right up on top of that rock wall back there, and it updates every hour, and it will tell you how deep the snow is, and you will be able to see if there is snow. And if you do need a parking pass, you can get them right here. Of course, Newfound Gap does sit astride the state line at an altitude of 5,046 feet. This is the Rockefeller Memorial here at Newfound Gap. He was very instrumental in helping found many of the national parks. And this is actually the spot where I believe it was President Theodore Roosevelt gave the park dedication speech. You should be able to see Mount LeConte, but you can't because it's in the clouds. I was hoping Clingman's Dome would be visible today, but usually if Mount LeConte's not, Clingman's Dome won't be either. We will know in a minute, but it doesn't look good.
Okay, so leaving Newfound Gap, it is 15 miles back down to Gatlinburg to the right, and 7 miles to Clingman's Dome to the left, and 20 miles to Cherokee to the left. Alright, so we're going to turn to the left and continue heading south. Now, right after you leave Newfound Gap, the road to Clingman's Dome, it's a 7-mile road up here to the right, closed from December 1st to March 31st or any other time there's inclement weather. So it is 7-mile drive to up this road to Clingman's Dome, and then once you get to the parking lot, it's a half-a-mile hike to the observation tower and the summit. However, if you're not able to do the hike, there's some really good views from the parking lot as well.
Yes, there are.
You ascend up to about 6,300 feet elevation in the parking lot, and then if you do make the trip to the dome, you are at the Smokies' highest point at 6,643 feet. So now we begin to descend in elevation back down the mountains towards Cherokee. So what I'm going to do now, we're going to pull into what is my personal favorite overlook in the Great Smoky Mountains. That's the Econolofty Valley overlook.
It's a beautiful overlook. Fall.
Especially the fall, yeah.
And if you can be in here with the snow, we've seen it all seasons. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And you may have your own personal favorite, but this one's mine, so I'm going to share it in this video. But I always like to pull off here just below Newfound Gap on the North Carolina side, and here it is. And unfortunately, you got a lot of summer haze today, but I'm going to get out and show you this from the camcorder.
So here is the somewhat obscured and haze view from a kind of lefty overlook, but trust me, in the fall when the summer haze is gone, or you've had a few cool nights, this is an absolute gorgeous view. Probably should have done this video in the fall. Again, you're looking back into North Carolina towards the Blue Ridge Parkway and the Hintuga Ridge area above Maggie Valley. We were saying earlier about the temperature change. Now she's got the Gatlinburg. I don't know how you even got cell signal, but I guess there are a few spots. But she's got the current temperature in Gatlinburg is 82.
It's 11:25.
Now right here, and her thing's not always the most accurate. To me, 70 feels a little warmer than it is, but that's showing 70. So even that's showing a 12-degree difference. One thing we want to make you aware of, and we haven't really pointed them out, but as you drive along Newfound Gap Road, you'll see little brown signs with white letters indicating what's called a quiet walkway. Now what that is if you're not a big hiker but you do want to kind of see the woods, they're just little short side trails, generally pretty easy, and they don't go far, but they can take you up into the woods a little bit. So I want to encourage you not to miss out on those if you do want to kind of get off the highway just a little bit. There are several of those along the way, and they're called quiet walkways. So the next set of overlooks that we're going to come to, actually it's an overlook, but it's got a nice little walkway that you can walk out on, features some of the park's best views as well. I gave you my personal favorite, but we're going to stop at this one. It's just below a kind of lofty overlook, about a mile. It has a little quiet walkway there to the right. The views you're going to see here are looking south towards Bryson City, Franklin area, and even on a clear day down towards Georgia. You're not going to see Georgia today, but you can see things like Standing Indian Mountain from here. At this overlook, you walk down here, and there's a little path, and you can go down a pretty good little ways, and this is some of the most amazing fall foliage views. If you come at the right time in October, you can really see a lot of the colors here. So here are the views you can see from that walkway. I can barely see Standing Indian Mountain through the haze. I do not know if this camera will bring it in. It's very obscured. And it basically sits just above the Georgia border. The next overlook that we're going to stop at to show you is the Webb Overlook, and on a clear day you get a really good, probably the best view of Clingman's Dome on Newfound Gap Road. Alright, here is the Webb Overlook. So we're going to pull off here and just see if we can get a shot of Clingman's Dome. Here's the view from Webb Overlook. Again, summer is not the ideal time to be showing you this because the views are much better in the cooler weather. But as far as Clingman's Dome, we're going to get about an 80% view of it right here. I actually can, through the clouds, see the observation tower on the top. That is the highest point in Great Smoky Mountains National Park at 6,643 feet. Up there are amazing. If you can get up there early enough, pack you a jacket and take in a sunrise. It is beautiful. It is usually brutally cold. Check out our sunrise video of Clingman's Dome from November of last year. It was, I think, 19 degrees, 18, something like that. Very windy, but it was full of people up there taking in the beautiful sunrise, and you can see forever from up there. But don't go if it looks like that. If you look up and it looks like that at the top, save you gas. But if you can see it, then there's going to be a good view.
If you've watched this far, congratulations. We're proud of you. I do want to give you a little bit of information here about what I was just saying as far as looking at the mountains before you decide to go up. Now, again, a lot of people come to the Smokies, they want to go to Clingman's Dome. They get up there and there's no view. You can actually, if you're staying in Gatlinburg, I'll give you an example. Look at Mount LeConte. And you say, well, where's that at? You can't miss it. Just look towards Gatlinburg. It is the long, towering mountain that you see dominating the ridge. Even from Pigeon Forge, it's the same thing. It's just the long, high mountain. If you can see that mountain clearly, the weather there is almost identical to Clingman's Dome. Clingman's Dome is probably clear as well. If you can't see it, wait till you can before you go. Because a lot of people get to Clingman's Dome and say, well, we couldn't see anything. You can actually determine that in the valley before you go up. Just look at Mount LeConte. The weather's going to be almost identical. If one's in the clouds, the other's going to be in the clouds. So just to be helpful there. Okay, what I want to show you now is when we were at Newfound Gap, I zoomed up on this section of roadway and said that's 441 going down into Cherokee. We are now on that section, and I don't know if this camera will bring it in or not, but you can actually look up and see Newfound Gap from here. There is a little pull off right here, but I'm looking up right now at the rock wall of Newfound Gap. It's to the right. Yeah, she's moving it over a little bit.
Trying to a little bit.
Don't know if you're going to see it again, but it's kind of disappearing behind the trees now, but that's where we just were a few moments ago. So, not going to be as many more scenic overlooks to show you from this point. There is going to be another picnic area that we're going to go through and show you, which is, my mind's blank, Collins Creek. Yeah. You also can see Newfound Gap right once we start to go back to the right a little bit. Well, yeah, pretty much straight above us right now. There's just shot a
What's the turkey?
Oh yeah, let's not hit the turkey. Obviously not a very bright chap. Okay.
He's taking his...
I was going to stop for the turkey. He was not going to stop, but I made it across before. I think he made it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So turkeys are not bright. We know that.
No.
So still don't want to hit one. What else is on this road? Oh, elk. You don't see elk on the Tennessee side. Now, I know a few years back, a couple went over there. A couple young males, they came back. They're not there now as far as we know. Let me dispel a myth now. There are no elk in Cades Cove as of yet. Okay. People claim they've seen them. What they're seeing are deer. Nobody has captured a picture of an elk in Cades Cove. The day may come, they're there. They are not there now. And anybody who, like rangers in that area, they know they're not there now. So, a lot of people try to say we saw elk in Cades Cove. If you're coming to Cades Cove to see elk, you won't see them there. Come over to the North Carolina side near Cherokee. Along this road, you can see them in the fields before the visitor center or at the visitor center.
Yeah. The fields in the visitor center, I mean, you can see, what, hundreds at a time, maybe?
Sometimes you can. Now, the other night coming through, we saw 5 or 6, maybe.
Yeah.
Also, Cataloochee Valley, we're not going to be going there today. It's a very remote area of the park. You're pretty much guaranteed to see elk there. But you're going to have to stay on the North Carolina side of it if you want to see elk. We've seen them in Cherokee before.
Yes.
It's not often, but we have.
In town on the side of a hill.
Yeah. Now I'm going to pull into this little parking area on the left. We're getting down closer to Cherokee. The reason I'm going to do that is there's a nice little small waterfall to look at across the road, so I do want to show you that.
Okay, so I just want to share this little waterfall with you. I don't know the name of it or if it even has one, but it's just a pretty little waterfall you can see right off the side of the road. The pull-off spot for that, if you're coming down towards Cherokee from Newfound Gap Road, it's this little parking lot right here, just past mile marker 23.
One of the things that this section of road, as you get closer to Cherokee, has is a lot of beautiful river. river spots where you can pull off and see the river. So we're gonna get out with the camcorder and look at one such spot now.
There's this bridge here to the left. This is a very beautiful spot, again, especially in fall. In case you haven't noticed, I'm really fond of the falls here in the Smokies. So from right here, everything's 2 miles from right here. But you have this bridge and this beautiful river spot right here. Very relaxing sound. Here's looking the other side of the bridge. And it's still late July, but look what we got going on right here. This maple leaf is actually just laying across the banister like that. We just see it. Found it like that.
Alright, so now we're going to ride through the Collins Creek picnic area. I don't know if it has creekside or waterside sites. We've only picnicked there once. And I don't remember any, but you'd think with the name of it, it would.
You would think so.
Collins Creek.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this is a picnic option if you're staying in Cherokee. There they are letting you know you need the parking tag. A lot of nice shady picnic spots. That might be the creek over there. I don't know. Did we cross a creek when we just came in?
I didn't notice, I hate to say. Put my window down, see if I hear it. I can't tell.
You just think named Collins Creek, there would be one. I want to say there's probably a creek down in there. It's very nice, spacious.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's very spacious. Not very crowded at all today.
No, it's not. This would be the less crowded option if you want to picnic in the Smokies. And it looks like they've got a group picnic shelter up here. You may have to reserve that, I don't know. There's signs, I'm guessing you would.
I got big grills on both sides.
Yeah, big old grills.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're with a church group or...
And they have a quiet walkway there.
Yep, quiet walkway.
Which may lead you to the creek. If it's not on that side, it may be on this side. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't see a visible creek, but there,
No, I don't
it might have
either.
been back there on the right. So that's the Collins Creek picnic area, and not much further until Cherokee.
Oh, there's a little creek right there after you pull out. So I bet you that was it.
Okay.
That quiet walkway may have taken you to because it's on that same side.
Okay. So that would be Collins Creek, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So right in this area is where you do have to start watching for elk. They can be anywhere, and usually in open fields though, but once in a while they'll be right on the side of the road. Probably not this time of day so much as it would be in morning or evening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just after 12 now, so probably not gonna see any on this video. Maybe, you don't know. Okay, now folks, coming up here on our left is Smokemont Campground. That is one of the National Park campgrounds. We have camped there. It was it's a beautiful campground, miserable experience because we kind of got rain and everything in our tent got soaked.
Mm-hmm.
But we did do a walkthrough of that. We did a separate camping video. Showed you the rain. We did get a pretty rainbow in the campsite, but other than that, it was a total washout.
Yeah.
But nice campground there. A little less crowded than Cades Cove or Elkmont. So it's definitely a good option. So the last stretch of Highway 441 into Cherokee, you're just riding along the Oconaluftee River. Very beautiful river. The road has leveled out. We're just gradually descending elevation into Cherokee. And I mention elevation a lot because it's a very important factor when driving in the park. The border towns such as Gatlinburg and Townsend sit at pretty low elevations. 1,300 feet for Gatlinburg, 1,100 for Townsend. Cherokee's a bit higher, just under 2,000 feet, about 1,950. So it's a little cooler, but you do have to be aware of changing weather conditions as you go up the mountain, because it can be mild down here in the winter and it can be snowy and freezing up there. So, and the leaves always turn quicker up there than they do down here, so that's another factor. So that's why I mentioned that a lot. But we are coming up now on the Oconaluftee Visitor Center.
And this area is where you can see a lot of elk in the woods.
Yeah.
But just keep your eyes open.
Yeah. Definitely keep your eyes open. You don't want to hit one. They would do a lot of damage to your car.
Yes.
And you do a lot of damage to it. Notice the sign warning you of the elk crossings up here.
Yeah, because this field is a popular spot for them sometimes.
On either side, primarily to the right. And this guy's pulling off, so I don't know if he's just pulling off or if we got an elk somewhere.
Let's see.
Nobody else is pulling off.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah, I think he's probably just doing that. But
there's signs even in the field there, danger, stay back 50 yards.
We've actually done our closeout of the national park, but we're coming back from Cherokee, and look what we see up here.
Oh, look at the baby one.
There's a baby elk. So we're going to include this in the video. We did not see any elk coming down, but we are seeing some now coming back. So there is a little calf there. Several more. Look at that.
Oh, look at them. They even have little spots like here. Oh, look at them all in there. All the mamas bringing the babies out.
so we're not going to pull through there, but there's the sign for Mingus Mill, Grist Mill. That's something to see. You would just make a right turn up here at the sign. Very, very close to the Oconaluftee Visitor Center. Right there where that truck's turning in, that's where you would go.
And it's not far up that road at
It is
all.
not far at all. Just basically right there.
Yeah, there's a parking lot right there, and you just do a little bit of walking. That's it. Not much at all.
Alright, so now we're coming up on the Oconaluftee Visitor Center. Just like we did Sugarlands, I'm going to pull through the parking lot. In my opinion, since they've redone this one, this is the nicest of the three visitor centers.
It's very nice.
I mean, they're all nice. Kate's
Yeah.
Cove is the smallest. This one, I believe, is the nicest since they have redone it. I guess I can't turn in right there, so I'll turn it up here. But you also have the bonus here that you don't have at Sugarlands. You've got the farmstead right behind it, where you can go and see the cabins and the fields and the gardens that were originally raised here by the Native Americans who lived here. And you see a lot of those restored structures out there. So we do have a separate video on this visitor center if you want to check that out for more information.
And the field right here beside us that you just saw is usually where all the elk are at in the evenings.
So here is the visitor center.
Zoom back out a little if you can.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's a very nice visitor center.
That's actually the old one, I think, or maybe it's not standing, but I know that's where the restrooms used to be. Now they have brand new restroom facilities too.
Yeah.
So this is a good spot to stop, stretch your legs.
Yeah, it is. I think that was the old one right there. The restrooms. The old restrooms were back behind.
Right, so we wanted to circle through there and show it to you.
Okay, we are on literally the last mile of our journey through Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Just past the Oconaluftee Visitor Center, you will see the junction of the Blue Ridge Parkway. This is the southern terminus of the Blue Ridge Parkway. You can get on this right here at this spot and drive 469 miles to Shenandoah National Park in Virginia. That is a drive that we want to do one day. We've done all of the North Carolina section of it, but right here is the southern terminus of the Blue Ridge Parkway. Also, that's the way to Mile High Campground. We have a separate review on that as well. And we are now going to be leaving the national park and entering the Cherokee Indian Reservation. Welcome to Cherokee.
Okay folks, we hope you have enjoyed this tour of Great Smoky Mountains National Park on Highway 441. Now, this is by no means all the national park has to offer. We did not take you on the Roaring Fork Trail up Cherokee Orchard Road or over to Cades Cove today. There are several other roads that you can take in the park. We did not go up Clingman's Dome, but this is the main thoroughfare through the park. This gives you a little bit of everything of high elevation, low elevation, the various forests in between, and the most popular overlooks. So we hope you enjoyed watching it. Again, this is the most visited national park in the country by a lot. Second place is Grand Canyon, and it's not even close. So not knocking any other national park, we were very blessed to be able to see some of those other ones just a couple of weeks ago. We saw Grand Canyon about 3 years ago, but this is home. This is the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. For us, this is the greatest place on earth. Nothing against those others. They're beautiful. They're worth seeing, but this is the one that we always come back to. So do you want to give your thoughts on what we've seen today?
It's beautiful. I'm glad we drove through it, glad we got to see it, glad we got to share it with you. Just love it. So we live in a beautiful country, and we've got so many national parks and so many beautiful places
diversity.
to see. But we're so thankful that we live close to this one because this is our favorite.
Absolutely. So anyway, anything else you want to add?
No.
We are now at the southern terminus of Great Smoky Mountains National Park. This is the sign that borders the Cherokee Indian Reservation, as we just showed you. So hope you enjoyed it. It's 33 miles from this point to the other sign, roughly 35 miles from Cherokee to Gatlinburg. It's a nice, beautiful drive. I encourage you to take it, get out of the towns, and see the national park. So thank y'all for watching, and have a blessed day.